Welcome back to the Face It Global Summit. And I've had to be very patient because you guys probably know I love to talk to the ninjas in pajamas, and I get to talk to MBS about that match. Very tense ending, but let's talk about the start because you lost 2 men very early, didn't you?
Yeah, like we moved into the swamp and then we knew there's enemies above us, like on quarry. And like the way the zone was, we really wanted to get like 2 guys at least under the quarry, and Gaxi and Miraku tried to like make their way, but they got spotted by NVS and VSG, so they like got crossfired, and yeah, we lost 2 guys for free, basically.
When you do lose 2 men so early, do you have to change up the strategy?
I mean, maybe a little bit. You cannot play as greedy, but in this point system, you still have to go for the kills. You cannot snake and wait for placement points because that doesn't work. So, like what I said to the guys as well, when they died, it's okay. Like we can still win as 2. Just like keep playing. And like we got second with like 6 kills, so that was pretty good as 2.
And also, I have to ask about VSG because they did take you down in the final circle. We'll come to that in a little bit, but they're across the water from you in Georgia Pole. Is it quite tempting to go and fight them early?
Not really, I don't think. Like maybe if you like make a little bridge camp or something, then yeah, but fighting early is not really that beneficial, I don't think. You still want to get like good loot and then move into the zone and like scout for positions and stuff like that.
So talk me through that final fight, because I was rezzing on both sides. We didn't know what was going to happen. It was a 3v2 and then it was a 3v1. So how did you decide that fight was unwinnable? Because it looked like you were just going for a final kill point there.
When the fight started, we know it was 2v4. Like it was me and the Ward against full VSG, and then like the nades started fighting. Like the nade fights started happening, just like throwing nades all around. And unlucky, Ward got killed by nades, but then like I knocked 2 of them, and one of them bled out and one got rest. So like then it became like 1v3, and one of them like pushed on the right side. I killed him as well, and I was instantly like going for the flash because I expected the 2 others to push me. So I just wanted like to get 1 more point, but like they didn't really push. And I mean, if I played like a little bit better, maybe I could have won that. So.
You did pretty well despite that, so don't worry, MBS. And I would be a foolish woman if I didn't ask this question. When are we going to see Gaxi unleashed?
Next game.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm going to head back to the desk. I just heard Kalaris in my ear go, ha-ha! So let's head over to the boys, because I think they might be excited.
Indeed, as we continue things. And obviously, NIP is a team that has great opportunities here. We saw it in the group stage. They topped it out in furious fashion, and now they have a great opportunity to keep stepping up here in the grand finals.
128 points in only 12 games for them. What an amazing kind of group stage for them, and leading into this is amazing. I think NBS is being a bit too humble here, though, because the way they kind of played it and how his personality on the team has affected them, being able to kind of be calm and be kind of the support, IGL, also being able to frag out. He had 5 of those 6 kills in the end.
Yeah.
This man is very capable of fragging out and in-game leading.
Yeah, I do also want to give a shout out. I don't know what the reasons are, but I think it's pretty cool. They got those little WTSG, the 4 stamps down the side. Ninjas in Pajamas said, you know, we know who you are. The brand that they built themselves basically is recognized worldwide, and to have that on there in addition to Ninjas in Pajamas is a cool nod to the organization, and it has to be really cool for the players, I think.
Well, the PGI, they got bronze pants 2 times. They got 3rd in both the TPE and the FPP. That is worldwide recognizable, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. Just say it to all of the other teams. This is, you remember? Anyway, of course, we have other teams that we're going to be talking about here whilst we continue things on. Guys, I want to talk to you guys ultimately about Envy, because they have definitely earned the spot here at the desk when it comes to how they performed in our first game, going into the second game as well. Talk to me about Envy.
Envy's an interesting team to me. So we heard from Interrogate, who's sort of their Canadian statesman and is usually very even-keeled. And then you guys got like Moody, who are very fiery and, you know, maybe at odds with different players from other teams, but always willing to sort of go forward and try the hard pushes. Venerated, I think, is one of the best fraggers in the world, and I think maybe if he hadn't been shot out of the sky by Star-Lord, Envy could have done something a little bit differently there. But their consistency is a huge improvement over the group stages, where they sort of, I think, struggled a little bit initially. This time around, 2 top 3 finishes. They've got to be very happy with that. Good kill counts, and they're setting themselves up to have a great day.
They got 9 kills totally over total so far. And honestly, for me, if they get into a position where they're all 4 alive, like we saw in the first game, and they're kind of in the favorite position, they're going to get so much more. They're going to get like a 15-kill game.
Boys, I want Toffee's takeaways from our first 2 games on Erangel going into our last one here. Based on what you've seen so far from our 2 games, what are you taking away into game number 3?
I think the level of movement, like the speed and force of sort of these early rotations, has just been amplified, especially by these circles. The last one was relatively middle. I think nobody had a huge disadvantage, but the teams that were moving fast, I mean, even you saw this, VSG said we were desperate for a resupply, and they luckily got it, but that means teams are moving with 20 in the clip and maybe 40 on the back because they know rotations are so important, because if you don't make a fast move, then you have to do edge play. So that's my takeaway is think about it. Are you an edge lord? Are you an edge master, or are you going to be somebody who thrives in the middle?
I'll stick with edgelord. That's fine. You don't want to say it. I'll say it. Avenger, how about yourself?
Am I doing a takeaways or am I doing an Avengers Revengers?
Avengers Revengers. Who needs to get revenge from these past 2 games?
So for me here, I really want to see a circle that benefits shoot to kill, because I really want them to see you getting revenge here. And I think they showed they did show in the group stage that they're an amazing team. And once they get just a little kind of advantage from the circle, just benefit them just once, because they haven't done so far, then they're going to get into a position where they can get so many kills and kind of set them up, because they stick together as a unit, and that's what really is going to set them up for victory here.
I can't believe I've set this as a precedent now. We've got, a fantastic start to this segment of the Toffee's takeaways, and then I've ruined it. I'm a rubbish human being by coming up with Avengers Revengers. Of course, don't forget that at home you can also be involved as well here with how the Twitch drop system is going on here for the items in PUBG. So all you have to do is follow the link below. Follow the link below, not spamming, and then from that point on, you can click on that, follow all the instructions as you bind your Twitch account with your Faceit account, so you not only have a chance of getting yourself a cat mask in-game, an IGL shirt in-game, a Gosu shirt in-game, but also a chunk of the 200 million Faceit points, Avenger, that are up for grabs. And I think you can buy some stuff with that as well.
Yeah, you can buy PUBG skins, you can buy a car, you can buy some hardware. There's so many stuff on the Faceit. Yeah, on the Faceit shop. There you can buy on merch as well if you want to. So obviously, and you get this from winning games as well, winning in your league. So there's kind of the whole system is kind of supporting this as well. So go check it out.
Very exciting. I like that you've got this like little ecosystem going on over there as well. So guys, we're a few moments away from the game, of course, here. Going in, another team, and just in general, the teams that I kind of want to talk about are the Chinese teams, because they've got huge fan bases out there that are cheering for them. They have travel from China, come from all other locations in the world. So teams like 4 Angry Men, teams like 17 Gaming are really out to shoot, and I think that they have a good opportunity to keep on pushing forwards.
Don't sleep on 4 Angry Men. Sure, they haven't been in the top 3 yet, but they had 7 kills in the last match. They had 8 kills in this one, and if they keep climbing up, I think they're going to be top 3 by the end of the day. These guys look like they came to play.
For me here, I really want to see in the last game teams sticking together as a unit. I want to see them make sure that they get 3 or 4 guys alive into the zone, because that's the way you win these chicken dinners.
Yeah, it seems so, especially with people getting themselves great spots in some of those final circles. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It is time. We are getting into Erangel for the last time today. All of these teams looking to get themselves cemented in terms of points earnings here, if this is their map of choice. We're heading over to Paper Thin and Matchroom here for all of the action.
And here we go, just a couple of seconds before we take that plane up into the air. Korea's got themselves 2 wins. We've seen a lot of big performances coming out from the other regions, but can somebody else take a map away from them is the question for me right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're looking at some of these Chinese, NA, and EU teams to see if they can make something happen. I've still got my eyes on AG because Duckmans is absolutely popping off. If they can keep their squad going, I think they have a real shot to take a chicken dinner here. But one thing I do want to point out, VSG, when they get a chicken dinner, they oftentimes get more than one in a day. About 80% of the time.
Don't say that.
80% of the time.
As a North American caster, I keep having to watch. Gets so close and gets denied. NIP, they keep showing up so big. And I'll even say even 4AM. We've seen some massive performances out of these guys. Share the wealth a little bit, man. Share the wealth.
I'm just warning people, it could happen. This team, when they start to click, they can absolutely pop off, and a lot of it's on the back of Star-Lord. When he is hot, that team can really catch fire.
I want to see a circle go towards the north. One, just because the fact that Korea's way down towards the south, and I want to go away from them for a second. maybe let everybody else get a little bit of RNG love up there. But I just want to see some Stalber, maybe like some Severny fights going through. Those are some fun locations with it, but no big changes from what we've seen drops in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like everybody's kind of going to their normal locations here so far. Aerowolves one, the only one that's doing something a little bit different again. Looks like they haven't quite found a comfortable place. Last time they dropped Razak. This time they're over by Quarry. We once again have 17 and Team Liquid in Pachinki. We'll see if they think about engaging each other.
It's so funny that they both dropped here, really didn't have anything happen, and then they both go south of Pachinki and then get into this massive fight after they've left the location. But looks like Cloud9 has managed to bully out a couple of people, so now has Rajak all to themselves. And
Zoom.
If you're a Korean fan, guess what? Circle makes its way back down towards the south. That's going to be OP Rangers, OG and Intus Force, and AFF all comfortably inside the circle as Sharky is just going to have to get a res from Zampa here.
Yep. Looks like a bit of a vehicle accident there for Tempo Storm. We're still keeping our eye on Team Liquid and 17 here in Pachinki. This time there's a bit of a surround here. Monkey King looking over here, seeing if he can find a member of Team Liquid to get a quick kill on them.
The analyst desk was talking about how much they wanted military circles in the last game yesterday. They need to flip whatever switch that they have to make it go somewhere else now. I'm like, this is what we've had repeat circles back down around this area now at least twice out of 3 games so far, and the other one was just down to the south as well. So big early rotations coming through. So now it's just about speed and maneuverability of certain teams and how they want to get to points and control them as fast as possible, or if they just opt into saying that's it, we don't care, we'll just come in as late as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see AG already making another early aggressive rotation. I like what they're doing, but they need to stick a little closer together. They're getting too spread apart. They're getting caught out in transitions, like 1 or 2 man at a time, and then it just becomes the Duckman show trying to salvage something for them.
Maybe that's the way it works. Duckman powers up as more and more members of his team dies, and so that's just, it unleashes him. And we got the Unleash the Galaxy. What are we going to have for Duckmans?
I mean, that's how you go Super Saiyan, right? Your friend dies, and then you got to go Super Saiyan. So, guys, we're going to jump over to the reporters. D-Man and Scoom, break it down for us.
Well, as we get there, Shu just takes down Samty, so that's obviously, we were going to mention that Team Liquid and 17, they have dropped a little differently this time, so they were both looking for an engagement this time around. Again, I wanted to go back to our original point, Armory Gaming making an early move once again, 3 minutes, they've done this every game so far. NIP in their backup location in pubg. Now, that's fine for them. Obviously, they're going to be able to take in the boats. But the problem is that's taking boats away from Envious.
Yeah, for sure. Envy had a successful first game on Military Island where they managed to rotate all the way far east. So now with NIP being there, I'm curious to see if they're going to have a backup plan when the boats might disappear from them, from NIP.
As you can see, Ibi, he's on the hunt. He's still looking for 17. We'll see how this fight plays out, guys.
Thank you so much. I got to keep my eye on Jemty down towards the south. He's kind of the cut-off man from rest of Team Liquid. 17 Gaming all collapsed right around the middle. Could he be a distraction? Could he pop up at the right time? One person already down for Team Liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he got the information from Ibiza on Shox's position. Looked like he was trying to capitalize that. We're just getting a nice overview of the OP Gaming Rangers. You can see Lambu way out ahead of the other members of Afrika Freaks Fatal, making sure they can cross over to Sosnovka Island safely. But AG has already set up shop here. Han Boya in that building over there. So it's going to be curious to see if Lambu runs into AG.
See, not a lot of teams really doing too much of a rotation, except for Envy. Envy's heading to the north. What the cha are they doing up there? 4 a.m. making their way inside the safe zone, giving Pachinki a lot of space, to say the least. They're like, okay, we tried to get involved in that one time. We learned our lesson. You guys can just keep doing whatever you want to do over at Pachinki. We've got Afrika Freaks Fatal making landfall over next to the water, so no big deal. A lot of people already opting into going towards the south right now. And oh, there we go. It's going to be Envy on the boat hunt.
Yeah, it looks like they found themselves a boat, so they're going to load up, make their way along the east side coast. Jemty up on a building here, jumping down, wasn't able to see much. Looks like 17 is controlling. Oh, but there's some damage coming onto him.
And look at this, 17 is aware where 2 other members are at, and that's going to be another Team Liquid member going down. Nice shots coming out from YY. I think at this point, Team Liquid has to just lick their wounds and get out of this as they're headed up towards the north to get out of this position.
Yep, Lambu just going to let Duckmans drive by here. I mean, it's smart by him. him. He doesn't want to give away his position. He knows that he's outnumbered right now. The other members of Afrika Freaks Fatal have made their way down to Sosnovka Island and are trying to regroup. You can see here Jeems and Ibby getting out of dodge. They don't want any part of this anymore. At 17, doing a nice job controlling Pachinki today.
Incognito already in rotation, making their way over next towards the bridge. VSG's got themselves the boats. We talked about in earlier rounds how important it is to deny resources. Make it to where people have to swim across the canal if it goes north or south, one way or the other. So makes it a lot harder for them to get any fights and really just free points that you can just net as people are trying to hop up for air.
Right, exactly. Windstrike is heading down to the west of Ferry Pier to try to find themselves a boat as well. AW1 coming on in. You can see they've just crossed the bridge. That was their last member. Icky coming across to Sosnovka Island, so they are heading down to the southern part of the island, try to find a camp to set up shop there.
What's interesting is I'm kind of keeping an eye on NIP and the way that they're moving up around Lippo. They might be aware of where Envy is moving because of just how the rotations come into play. So might have a little bit of boat skirmishes happening. Cloud9 making their way inside the safe zone. No real rush for it, but really everybody is just expecting military base circle right now. So a lot of people making their way across bridges, making their way down through boats. Not a lot of teams opting to stay up towards the north.
Right. Incognito right now, bridge camping the eastern bridge, 4 a.m. on the western bridge. So there's a couple teams that are going to need to find a way to get across. Teams, Tempo Storm heading in right now towards 4 a.m. STK still up by Severny. They're going to start making their rotation here soon.
This. Look at this. Incognito goes over, grabs the boat, denies it. They've set it with a bridge camp, so now they can kind of control it. The only thing they have to be cautious of is where their bridge camp position is at. If they take shots, people like to jump off into the water with their vehicles. They could potentially have just brought a boat over and delivered it saying, hey, whenever we shoot at you and you jump into the water, now you have a getaway plan.
Yeah, you could almost set up a boat as a bit of a bait there and try to get a team to go for it and then just rip them apart as they go across. But AG here firmly setting up in this wizard hut and the double house compound. Windstrike has found themselves a boat over by Ferry Pier, denying Tempo Storm a boat of their own so far. We'll see if there's one more maybe hanging out over there, but I think that area has been picked clean.
Sharky's just watching it go off into the distance. And there you go. I was talking about Envy kept repositioning as they were driving the boat through, but NIP just trying to catch them out. So a lot of long-range shots going through. Keep in mind, you just have to get the knock when they're inside the boat. So going to have to keep an eye. I think they might be able to get a little bit of distance from it, but I think our sideline reporters have a couple of things that they want to break down for us.
Yes, something to talk about right now. OP Rangers, they loot Sosnovka Island, and they are split on the southeastern cliff. They're waiting for these boat rotations, these MVs, this NIP that are going to come from the east, and VSG is rotating south side as well. So OP Rangers, instead of opting to go somewhere central where they loot, they're actually holding back the cliffs, which will be really interesting in the phase number 2.
And there's also a problem. Windstrike just took the only boat left from Ferry Pier, so 4 a.m.'s bridge camp, which looks like it's moving over, is going to catch Tempo Storm out.
Thank you so much. Naturally, we also see AFF, Afrika Freaks Fatal, post up in the place that gave them a little bit of love in that first round. So just quickly rotated over there and was like, this was nice. Let's do this one again.
If it ain't broke, don't, or if it ain't, yeah. Wait, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Broke, don't fix it.
There we go. I almost thought to myself, well, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, no, wait, okay, there we go. Yeah, VSG
it's
doing
a
something.
Saying. They never make sense. That's fine.
VSG doing something interesting here. Over on the southern, they're hanging out by those islands, trying to make sure they don't get shot at, trying to find a safe way in. Looks like they will be able to head over to that southern beach now. AW1 as well, rolling around in the middle of the military base, trying to take a central location.
Really interesting to see where the circle goes and does reward everybody that made their way over towards the military base island. Is to see somebody just kick back and relaxing there on the beach, enjoying the sun for just a minute. NIP managed to find themselves a boat going to be falling back behind Envy, but I mean, no surprise. Everybody kind of had an idea that was going to be making its way over towards military base. 17 Gaming. This is a little dangerous. Just a touch. A late rotation coming in all inside of one vehicle. We might see a couple of bridge camps come into play, but I think that they're just going to go ahead and try to gun it off the side and swim it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be their best bet. This is a difficult situation again for 17, similar to what happened to them in game number 1, where they had to find a way to swim across the river, and that really didn't work out for them very well. Nookie here, the hero in game 1 for Windstrike, trying to get some information on this 4 a.m. rotation for his team. We'll see if they decide to take some shots. Okay, Forever stopping, so Teme trying to get some shots down here.
Not a lot of it connecting. Most of them going over towards the UAZ. Most of the teams are making their way down around the south and towards the east. We can see forces going over there next to the radio tower. You can see most people playing around good sightline locations. Almost everybody has left military base proper and playing around the edges for it. Not a lot of teams playing up towards the north where we saw that first game end at. Shoot to kill back over here. Man, you saw the desk was talking about the fact that they really wanted them to stay stuck together, but they are not on military base island yet. They've got Cloud9 that's going to be driving up in front of them, as well as the remnants of, it's going to be Liquid coming back behind Cloud9.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to note here, Scoom talked about how OP Rangers had set up on the southeastern coast of Sosnovka Island. They have moved back into the center, more towards military base, kind of by the bunkers and the downed airplanes over there. So here you can see C9 making their rotation across the bridge. It's relatively safe for them so far. Profi going out ahead as the scout and the other members coming behind him.
Very dangerous push that he made through there. So Profi makes it through as the scout, and it almost feels like the trap has been sprung, because you can see Cloud9's coming through. There are two different teams posted up in this position, but actually Envy is moving below the bridge right now, so not going to have any sightlines. It's just incognito, but then it's going to be Cloud9's Profi who managed to get over there, take the shots. It felt like incognito was setting a trap to try to catch them as they made that rotation. Good defense coming out of Profi.
Yeah, Profi sniffing that out really nicely, setting up very well to cover his team as they crossed that bridge. They took a little bit of damage, but they returned the favor to incognito. So we are going to find out here in just a little bit where our next circle will go. Things are closing in here. SDK trying to get through the bridge. Team Liquid re-rotating now to the north.
We got Windstrike posted up right above Tempo Storm. They should be aware of this. You can see Tixu looking down the hillside. Well, Luke's taking a little bit of damage, but everybody's just crammed in right along those little ravines, trying to find a little bit more information. Your boy Drain goes down inside of this. So now we've got Windstrike with a firm high ground position. And look, it's going to be Nookie off to the side of this. Got to be very careful, as VSG is going to hear this and might have some sightlines as well. Could participate and become the third-party factor into it. Tempo Storm in a very rough spot. Not good sightlines out of it. It's all a matter of just how Windstrike wants to take this shot. The grenade is going to land right back down next to Maluk and flush him out.
Yeah, Windstrike already getting 2 kills here on a Tempo Storm. Another grenade coming in just a little bit past Zampa. The grenades are starting to rain in here from Windstrike. So far, they're deflecting off the side of the mountain, not getting in here, but Zampa takes some damage from Tixu.
Zampa is just crammed right into that corner. Zampa does manage to look back up, get the shots back over to Tixu, so gets a little bit more space. Sharky takes a lot of damage, looks back down onto it, but Zampa's just trying to hold this angle. As you can see, Nookie and Jorski starting to make their way forward. They've got the smokes for a little bit of cover, but it is just Zampa holding this angle, and you can see everybody from Windstrike just dropping down the hills, trying to get a res potentially out of this. Zampa aware that's got to be what's happening, trying to make sure the numbers don't go away from him. Gets the sight over towards Nookie, trying to go for the shots, doesn't manage to get him down, but the push comes around the outside of it, and Windstrike eliminates Tempo Storm.
Great job by Windstrike there. They might not lose any members unless BSG decides the third party, but Nerf knocking SDK Adam out of the boat. Another member knocked out of the boat. That's 2 kills for C9. SDK desperately trying to get on. Their boat is on fire. If that explodes, they both go down. Purdy Curdy gets out quickly. Uncivil trying to get through. He does get out. His but he gets knocked.
But does manage to make it onto the little bit of steps right down below it. You can see they're out inside the blue. That's a lot of damage ticking. So Purdy Curdy is just trying to make it over towards some form of safety. Cloud9's going to go ahead and rotate through. So a lot of tragedies happening for North America there, back to back. Purdy Curdy, the last surviving member of Shoot to Kill right now. Envy, though, post up right around over next to Armory Gaming. 17 still making their swim through, and our last 2 members of Team Liquid starting to make their cross on the bridge.
Yeah, C9, great control of the coast there. They are moving now towards the circle. It has centered itself almost directly around Sosnovka military base. Here you can see Envy. Duckman's getting the first knock. Venerated trying to return the favor. Interrogate gets the knock on the Duckmans. The other members of Envy pushing up here, Matrim.
Envy's going to come up, go for the res. The rest of the members of Armory Gaming trying to get into a position. Windstrike, we saw them go loud a second ago over towards Tempo Storm, but VSG moved from their present position, make their way back down over to it. NIP got a sightline over towards the Cloud9 right now, so you can see rotations of teams that were already in position and starting to catch them out. So 2 members now of NIP trying to see if they can get a sightline as Nerf crests over this hillside. It's a very thin strip that he has to drive through as he comes down inside of this valley. Should be able to pop up. Is Vard going to go for the shots onto it? Looks like he's going to be patient for it. Oh no, Lobes is rolling down the hillside, and that's going to be one Vard definitely takes. Goes for the shots, an easy flush out.
Just really unfortunate timing there for Lobes at the wrong time, and great positioning here by NIP to take advantage of this. Nerf has gotten out trying to protect the other members of C9, but Nerf does get knocked here by Var. Miraku getting a knock on a K-Mine. There's only one member left standing here for C9.
Profi is looking at this. He's trapped back behind a tree. He knows that he needs to get some type of down, some type of cover. He doesn't even have the ability to go for a real res. He's decided that he's going to take the gamble, maybe try to get K-Mined up. This is going to be a very quick res. Maybe turn around, jump back onto that motorcycle. It is just a matter of time. He's trying to race the clock as NIP is just running up next to him. K-Mine still hiding out inside the smokes. Profi's trying to retreat out and away from it. NIP is out inside the blue right now, so it's going to start taking for a little bit of damage onto him. They're just trying to gatekeep out this position, but Force is back behind it. They hear it, and you can see Indigo now taking the shots back over towards Profi. They are caught between two different squads, but Miraku goes down to the blue. This is just turning into a three-way fiesta as everybody is just shooting everyone.
OGN enters Force, trying to push in here, keep these two teams from being able to get into the circle. Profi taking some circle damage. Indigo acting as the front man here for OGN. Kale and the another member, I believe that's Songjang up there on the hill, they are opting to back out of this. They don't want any more of this. I'm a little surprised by this. I think they have a good chance here to pick up some kills on NIP if they so chose.
You're now seeing the problem whenever you rotate late and it just keeps shifting away from your positions. A lot of these teams that were playing along the edge are taking so much blue damage and just getting down from the blue, and that's not the way you want this round to go, even in the slightest, and everybody is already set and waiting, so you have to push through these very hard positions. OP Rangers are trying to make their way back over to this. They're going to decide that they're going to play around this position, but they have Incognito right on the other side of them.
Yeah, Entus Force opting to try to make a rotation into the circle, but now they've run into VSG. OP Rangers on their north as well as Incognito, but OP Rangers seem pretty distracted with Incognito. Starlord leading the way here for VSG, trying to give them some information on what Force is doing.
Incognito is presently running a 2-1-1 split all across military base, so they have a lot of information, can participate in a lot of fights, but really they can't commit to anything as Windstrike sitting on 5 kills right now, still looking back over towards Airwolf 1. Joyce's trying to connect onto these shots, making the Dasi run up that hillside, but they're getting more and more control over this part of the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. Windstrike firmly in control of the southwestern part of the circle here. They've got a little bit of the compound still in it, and that hill up there for them to use as well. You can see Nookie looking around, seeing if there's anybody else. Nothing doing. Joxy trying to get a shot onto RDK here. RDK has to crouch down, but Ronan taking some damage from the Rangers in the crossfire.
Oh, you can see Waikika is trying to go for the grenade up and over, but not going to connect as bullets start raining down next to him. And oh, that one follows up and managed to take down RDK. So nice, solid plays coming out of Incognito. They've got some namers and OP Rangers off to the side of it. Remember, they're running that really weird split. Insight went down inside of that exchange as well. So really up towards the north, we can see that Envy is making their push over towards the remnants of 17 Gaming, as well as a Freak of Freaks Fatal, all right on top of each other.
Oh, Envy getting some nice shots here. Shock's taking a lot of damage. He's knocked already. The grenade being cooked by Moody. Here it goes. Will it confirm the kill? We'll find out. YY gets taken down by Venerated. That's 17 Gaming out in 14th place.
There you go. Rez is now coming out for Taro, but you can see a Freak of Freaks Fatal. They hear this, starting to get into a position where they want to try to gatekeep this out. They know that the blue is coming right at Envy's heels. Taro does get rezzed off of it, but you can see a Freak of Freaks caught up into another fight. They're kind of spread out a lot of different locations. That's going to be shoot to kill, getting taken down from nice shots coming out from Nookie there.
Yeah, it looks like Nookie trying to find something here. Starlord does get knocked and killed by NIP. Style doing some nice work here, preventing Envy from getting in. This is a rematch from game number 1 between these two teams. Style looking to put some shots into the smoke. Nothing landing. Patcap's able to back off a little bit, but one member of Envy knocked it in. Oh, look out. Here comes the grenade. Style. Oh, nice. He gets knocked.
That is a beautiful grenade coming in, giving them a little bit more cover positions that they can now play around. They have different angles that they can push from. You can see Patcap's around the other side. The grenades are unrelenting from Envy right now. Moody's going for a flank. He's going for a push right along the outside of it. It's going to get spotted out by NN. I don't know. But no, he gets the read on over towards NN first. The blue's coming in, and remember, this is going to tick for a ton. He has to try to stay ahead of it. AFF is trying to get their reses up. So now, everybody from Envy just running through Venerated is just done. There's nothing they can do for him. They've got a little bit of a numbers disadvantage off on this side. So Moody's just kind of holding back 3 members by himself while the rest of Envy is trying to regroup, get into some type of positions, as it is going to be another shift back away from this position.
Yeah, AFF trying to play defense here. Venerated did go down to the circle. Looks like Moody healing up and trying to get a position here to find an angle onto AFF. Meanwhile, yep, the circle goes a little bit east, but it's centered right on top of the OP Gaming Rangers. Juanita now taking that forward position for VSG. NIP trying to cross into the circle, but they're getting shot at. Here we go, back with AFF and NV.
Now they've separated out. They know that they need to make the push over, but look, we've got Armory Gaming that might catch out AFF based on repositions. There's still a member of Airwolf 1 that's right inside the safe zone that's just waiting this out. Han Boya, I think he might have some vision that NN could be making this approach. He's laying down, trying to get a couple more meds up. Is Han Boya, he should hear it at this point. He hasn't actually committed to making any form of movements. I think that NN actually heard the meds going off there. You sort of just stop right dead in his tracks. So they have to have an idea that somebody's around. Shadow slowly creeping forward. Han Boya goes for the shots, gets a little bit of damage, steps back over onto it, and look at that. Shadow was just a bait, and it's going to be NN that steps up, and look at the cycle back and forth. Those guys did such a great job on playing that fight.
Wow, what a cycle there from NN and Shadow to catch Han Boya. Han Boya doing some damage, not able to find a knock. Quickly healing up his AFF. We're moving over to Songjang, who's got James pinned behind this rock, trying to find an angle. A grenade comes. Oh no, that's Temeria from long distance. Gets the, oh, and a Kale gets the kill on the James. That was crazy.
Now we've got DMG that gets taken out by a Freak of Freaks NN. Now we got Envy that's also making a push off to the outside of this. Long range shots coming out from OP Rangers as well as Incognito. See, NIP, 7 kills, been kind of playing along this outside wall, just trying to survive their way through it. But OP Rangers, somehow Ibiza managed to make it into a safe spot as well. But NIP is just unrelenting back over here towards VSG. So much damage getting done. They want to get that shot onto Juanita, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get it. Can he get this peek back up for it? Just trying to connect, and there we go. Nice shot coming out from NBS.
NBS with some great shooting to catch Juanita underneath that UAZ. Mental in the meantime, trying to do some work onto Envy. Moody will go down from why kick a Mukau? Why kick a Mukau? That's why you kick a Mukau. You get a kill. And Mental trying to see if he sees any other members of Envy trying to poke in. The circle is closing behind them.
Everybody's trying to make it over towards those gas barrels or oil barrels, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of safety inside of there, but Mental is just holding the line right now. Nobody from Envy can make that cross over. The last member, Taro, taking a little bit of blue damage, knows that he is going to have to make that same cross. NBS is just decimating everybody from BSG on the other side of it.
Yeah, this is crazy. Mental is absolutely going crazy here. Envy getting completely wiped by the OP Gaming Rangers. Mental doing some serious work with that Mini 14. The circle has shifted hard south, though, and this is looking decent here for VSG and maybe NIP if they can keep it up.
Keep in mind, NBS is by himself. The other 2 members of NIP are already inside the safe zone and on the other side of VSG right now. So, OP Rangers has a nice position that they can play. This wall is very defensible, but Gaxi now starting to make a little bit of a push over towards VSG, trying to buy a little bit more space so that way NBS, who's right along this new blue zone, it's going to start moving in 15 seconds. They're trying to get him a little bit of space, draw some aggro back over their direction, but it's going to be Force that's still looking back in between them. So there's 2 different squads between their teammate, and they're trying to just get some type of pressure, draw some attention back over this way as Dangchi and Hulk are kind of caught up right now with Gaxi and Vard.
Yeah, there's an exchange going between these 2 teams. Grenades have been flying. Hulk and Dangche trying to prevent them from coming in. Ibiza doing some nice shooting here, knocking NN, trying to find another member, but the kill gets stolen by 4AM's captain on NN. Ronan here as well, shooting onto the Freak of Freaks Fatal. This is a shooting gallery.
This is a terrible place to have to cross this late in the game. You can see there is no cover. It is all just smokes and utility. EB, the last member of Team Liquid, is just trying to defend that location. BSG just says, no, okay, that's it. All the hopes and dreams of NIP now rest right over on NBS's shoulders, but he walks right up into Force and gets taken down. So now Incognito is just slowly making their way forward over towards OP Rangers. You can see it's like a red zone over here with so many grenades going off.
Yeah, Incognito down to 1 member. Ibiza does get the knock and the finish onto Style here. There is only 1 member left for AFF. Of course it's Shadow, but Ibiza's trying to get the angle on him, flanking around to the north side of that plane. Meanwhile, OP Gaming Rangers finish off Ronan. That's Incognito out in 7th place as they look to control the northern edge of this circle.
Ronan going down. Now OP Rangers firmly aware of what's going on around him, but let's not forget about 4 angry men. They've got 4 members up, and they're feeling real strong along the southern line. Grenade's going to come out. Dangche's got nowhere really to go, taking a ton of damage, trying to make it back over behind that tree. There is near on no cover. Hulk's already down. You can see 4AM just playing these angles. 2 members down on 4AM right now. Dangche's just trying to survive this, trying to get the meds back up, and look at the grenades just rolling around. Finally, they do connect.
Great push there by 4AM, but even better defense. Here comes Entus Force, looking to see if they can capitalize on this situation. 4AM, 2 down there. VSG doing the hard work here. Indigo, Songjang, and Kale looking to find some angles on this, but the reses are already coming through. The smoke is good. It protects them for now.
Nice angle of defense coming in with that smoke. Buys them the second or two that they needed to get those reses up. Med's already up as well. 4AM makes an aggressive push. Force tries to counter back on over to it, but look, it's OP Rangers from another angle. Circle does pop. Favors them right along this defensive wall. You can see kind of how it goes. There's a wall back behind them on one side, and there's a little dip, like a trench that they can play up. So they can just peek anywhere along this line. They just have a full-on defensive trench up there, looking back down at this other fight. Indigo looking up towards ZGG. Is he going to take the shot? Wins the moment that he has to capitalize off of it. The other members of 4AM just moving around in front of him. It's going to be Kale that hits the first shot onto it. Indigo's just trying to connect with something else. Gave away his position. He gets knocked off of this. So now you can just see 4AM looking back over towards Force. But OP Rangers hears all of this, sneaking up back behind it. Kale's just trying to survive. He's got a lot of damage that's coming his way. Songjang on the other side of it does manage to take down Forever.
Songjang looking strong here up on the northern flank. Kale providing the support in the rear, doing a lot of damage here to 4AM. The OP Gaming Rangers are quickly trying to pounce on this situation. Kale looking to see if he can get the res onto Indigo. It doesn't look like it could come through. Godby and Captain just laying down, trying to buy time here. Looks like OP Gaming Rangers don't want to even let these two teams get close to this circle.
They're getting control over the circle in an uphill position, spreading out, making a defensive line. You can see 4AM's, they're in a little bit of trouble as Tamari's going for that side flank, actually moving outside of the safe zone. OP Rangers hears the fight, but has completely died down now, so they're trying to figure out what's going on. They don't want to go for a risky peek over the side, and it's going to be an exchange back and forth. This Captain does get the down onto one member of Force, but it's going to be a retaliation back on it. Godby's taking a lot of damage, and there we go. OP Rangers finally comes alive, gets the down onto one of them, and now it's just Kale running right alongside the blue, trying to survive, trying to find an angle to get some type of shot off. 12 kills OP Rangers are sitting on, and they look over and decide to make it 13, as that's going to be OP Gaming Rangers getting themselves around victory.
Back to back to back wins for the PKL teams. OP Gaming Rangers doing it, controlling their island. Sosnovka has been theirs. When that circle goes there, they have done very well. 2 out of 3 games on Sosnovka have been their wins.
I hate you. Why don't you let other regions have some wins, okay?
No.
We need a circle moving somewhere else. We're going to be making our way over towards Miramar. Don't get me wrong. I love it whenever Korea does great as well, but man, stop.
No, I'm not. They're not done. These guys are playing out of their minds. Korea really putting it together here today. They look so strong. Now, we've had a lot of northern circles on Erangel. Today, we're getting southern circles, and they're really taking advantage of it.
So with this, we've got OP Rangers in first place. OG and Entus Force back behind that in second. 4AM coming in third. Team Liquid's Ibiza coming in fourth, right back behind that. Sure, the rest of the team came through there, but I gotta give it to him. He held that line for so long. VSG back behind that. There's a couple of Korean teams up in that top 5.
Just a few. Just a few. It's been really, really good, guys. We got to take another short break. We will be back soon. Please stay with us.
Hey, James, have you seen my keyboard anywhere? I'm trying to log on to Face It so I can get my drops tomorrow, but it's missing. No? Well, I mean, all right, I'll check the desk.
Welcome back to the Face It Global Summit, where we're getting straight back into the action down in the OP Gaming Rangers pod. And I am joined by the wonderful Samira after that incredible win. So you guys have looked so consistent today. What has been the focus for the team coming into today's matches?
오늘 아주 좀 잘 유지를 했는데요. 좋은 성적을. 무슨 생각을 하시고 그렇게 게임을 하셨길래?
일단 예선의 초반에 좀 아쉬운 모습이 좀 많았었는데 마지막에 예선 마지막 라운드 좋은 모습 기억하면서 결선 올라와서 그 기억으로 진행하고 있습니다.
So it was a bit of a shame for us at the start of the qualifiers, but we did well last at the end of the other qualifiers, and now we're just like basing our memory, happy memory. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you guys have seen an incredible rise in form, definitely. It's definitely, whatever you've been doing has been working out for you. Now, coming into this game, we've seen a lot of southern circles currently in the past couple of matches. Is that something that is an advantage to the team as you like to drop in the south area of the map?
남쪽 서클이 좀 많았는데 혹시 그게 도움이 되시는지 팀에서?
확실히 남쪽 서클 떴을 때 주도권을 얻기 위해서 밀배를 랜드마크로 했었고 북쪽은 떴을 때는 이제 최대한 점수를 따고 남쪽은 우리에게 원을 줬을 때 무조건 1등 한다는 마음가짐으로 하고 있습니다.
So for the south circles, they know that the military base is there and they aim to win. When it's the north circle, they try and get as many kills as they can for that game.
Well, 4AM were one team we saw getting a load of kills there. How did you neutralize them coming into late game?
그 4M 이제 엄청난 많은 킬을 먹고 갔는데 어떻게 이렇게 상대를 하셨는지.
포스 팀이랑 OGN이랑 4M이랑 킬로그 싸우는 게 킬로그 체크가 됐고 이제 저희에게 신경 못 쓸 때 저희가 먼저 유리한 자리를 차지하고 그리고 일방적으로 이길 수 있게 했습니다.
They were looking at the kill log constantly and they realized they were fighting over there, so essentially they went around the areas where they knew that they could sneak in and they got a good position and took them all out.
Well, thank you so much for that insight. That was an incredibly exciting game to watch. Let's see what the boys made of that one over on the desk.
Dominant performance here by our teams from the PKL over in South Korea as they're able to get themselves win after win after win. This time, of course, it's OP Gaming Rangers. What a win for them. They even had a very defensive position in terms of the wall next to where military is and decided at the very end, ain't nobody getting into our last circles. Really strong performance coming out from the OP Gaming Rangers Toffees.
I think we heard even in that interview that, you know, we talked about they got a slow start, they need to feel out sort of where the meta was going. And so we've chatted since day one is this idea that if you get the circle, you maybe play for placement or whatever kills, or you play the edge and hunt when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And they've recognized that. They're doing it very well. Yes, they got 2 military circles so far, but they're executing on them. But I do want to give a shout out to other teams. I mean, OP got 13 kills, so they not only got kills along the way, they racked them in there and made some good pushes. But, you know, Ninjas in Pajamas got 8 kills. They're coming all the way from South Georgia Pool. Envy got 6 kills coming all the way from Yasnaya. So it seems like that theory theory is being adopted by a lot of these teams, that you sort of play with what you're given and maximize point totals.
Yeah, NIP dropped pubg this game, though. Their backup dropped.
Fair.
So they came over. Also, we saw them shooting at Envy, and they're only going there in one boat. But what I really loved from that was that they were, obviously there's also some fights going on in pubg, and I still want to say this is hurting 17 Gaming and Liquid. So when we get to Miramar after the break, it's going to be very exciting because they're most likely going to have their drop spots to themselves.
Absolutely. Excited to see what they bring, but again, Korea is absolutely dominating right now. The Korean Pro League, KPL, is doing such amazing stuff. I can't say enough about the quality of play coming out of here.
No, indeed. Especially, they're being able to utilize those southern circles extremely well, of course, as all of our teams right now have retired here for the moment and are going to be going for on that lunch break as well to be able to get ready for Miramar. As we take a look at some of the final moments, I didn't think VSG was going to win this fight, but they did against two members of an NIP.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump ahead to where the final moments are headed so we can talk about what I thought was one of the best plays we've seen so far.
Sure.
OGN Entis second place, also coming out of the PKL, was in a very good spot to defend, but aggressive action by the OP Rangers to lock up the entire circle meant that they got a 4v1 instead of a 4v3 at the end.
Very impressive stuff there, locking them out, and obviously all of these highlights locked in by NVIDIA. A very atypical set of circles, I think, overall, though, when it comes to the three games that we've had here at the beginning of our Grand Finals stage. It's not too often that you get these heavily spaced southern circles here across the three games to start off a tournament of Henja.
I would say, I mean, with these heavily southern circles, obviously heavily favors the teams that are looting around there, so we expect them to do good. We're also playing 12 matches, so we get onto Miramar, it's going to be completely different. Obviously, the drop spot are so different as well, but having two military games after only having one in the group stage is like, it's...
Didn't you guys only have like one in PEL? It was, like, the numbers are, it's crazy.
Is that the last one?
Yes.
So it was very atypical, but here the atypical has become the typical, and teams need to adjust to that. Cautionary tale, don't come back tomorrow and assume they'll all be south, because obviously that's just a confirmation bias.
I hope not for shoot to kill, I hope not.
I mean, but all of those teams, all of our teams are just, like, those guys below thirds through about eighth are just hanging on. Like, Ninjas in Pajamas doing very well considering the situation, as is Envy.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at the last match results here as well, as all the points filter in through, and OP Gaming Rangers get 23 points to their name. Big points coming in from them, and then that is very top-heavy, actually.
4 Angry Men again here, killing a lot, getting into the end, and they're actually playing so well. 21 kills so far today in just 3 games, but topping that is Rangers with 26 kills in total in just 3 games. That is absolutely amazing.
Big stuff. They looked very comfortable, I think.
It's almost like they've juxtaposed. They've taken the spot that STK had the first day of group stages, right? I mean, STK got 3 good circles up north, and they sort of executed those very well. OP Rangers not only has adjusted to the meta, but are also getting these circles. So I think that they've learned enough in these 3, basically 3 military games out of 4 Erangel matches, right? That they've learned enough about how to play defensively against these Western teams that they can take that when the circles don't favor them now and run.
I actually want to say something here on that note, because I definitely feel like the meta in the Grand Finals also changed from the group stages.
I agree.
And
look at this, the total leaderboard.
Yeah, the overall points come in. OP Gaming Rangers at the moment sat at the top with 43 points, 10 points ahead of joint seconds for Angry Men and VSG. Their consistency across these last 3 games, they might not have had the most amazing placements when it comes to like 1 or 2 in the past couple of games, but they have, with that win, really rocketed up there.
And I want to say here on top of that, don't worry about Liquid and 17 Gaming. We're gonna go to Miramar now. So now they're actually gonna be starting. But this is a statement. I mean, we talked about this in the group stage as well. Liquid wants to show that they are going Pochinki at these globals.
Yes, and making a very big statement out of it themselves. Toffee is looking at things, so overall, Shoot to Kill had an amazing group stage, but at the moment they may as well change the name to Lay Down to Die if they keep staying in there.
I mean, it seems a little toxic to say that, but they're struggling. They're shooting for mid-tier right now. That said, we did see the same thing from Tempo Storm at the group stages. They had a terrible first 3, and then they bounced back. The problem is this is a significantly harder stage. Coming back from this bad of a start is going to be difficult. There is no elimination stage to sort of pull yourself out by your bootstraps. But these guys have the mental fortitude to bounce back. I do believe that. They've got a great coach. They're very strong. Don't count the Ironman of PUBG out just yet.
That's fair. That's fair. So, of course, you know, sorry, Avenger, go on.
That's just for Tempestorm as well. They are not a fan, and they're definitely not on top of the military circles as they are. We saw the kind of the Western Shrink. They had an amazing game there. 8 kills, 11 points for them there. So when we get onto Mirrormine, if they get kind of comfortable in their situation in the circles, well, they're going to be fragging out as well. So I'm not worried about them. Yeah. But I'm definitely worried about shoot to kill. And we said this in the group stage as well. If they don't get a good start, I'm not going to expect them to see them in the top 8.
Right, so they're going to be looking for comfortable circles later. And another thing that all our players are comfortable in is our Vertigear chairs here by the Face It Global Summit. So thank you for them for joining us here for the tournament as a whole. And that is, I think that's pretty much... Do you have something to say, Toffees? Absolutely.
Okay, Martin debated us by saying the meta has shifted and is new in the finals, and then we had to cut to the scoreboard. So I need to hear what the new meta is. You can't just put that out there and not tell us.
I mean, there's multiple things to it. So the meta is, it's not just the meta itself. So there's them being able to get into the circle is one thing, just being in there, but it's more the play style and the mindset as well. So that we see some teams try to get into the circle, get center, but there's so many teams that are edging, and I feel like I want to see them go in a center strat and not split as we see. We see a lot of teams kind of splitting and greedily splitting. Yeah. I want to see them staying together as a unit and kind of in the second circle make sure they prioritize getting into the circle and deep into the circle.
Right. It's almost like we're looping back to an old meta, right? Yeah. That we used to see tons of middle, then this kill point change happened and everyone wanted to play the edge. Yeah. But you're right. We're starting to see teams go, it's overcrowded, let's push towards middle. I like that, and I think that shift will continue.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's time now to go to a break, and it's not a short one. It is about an hour's long break here before we actually get into our next set of games, of course. However, we do have our lunchtime show as well that everybody can tune into, get some of the more opinions here from more experts as they join us at the analysis desk. For now, we are going, and then make sure to tune into that lunch break. But when we're back, we have Miramar, 3 games here at the grand finals of the PUBG Global Summit from Face It, of course. Join us right after this.